Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stefan Raue. I'm the head of data and analytics at Arceptive. And today I'm going to talk about EVSolt, a sensor-based modular solution to detect and enforce bay hogging and icing events with the aim of improving access to EV charging infrastructure. As Gary mentioned, we're only at the start of a journey. We're looking at the tenfold expansion in charge points and EV charging infrastructure. Overall, we're aiming at around 300,000 public chargers by 2030. The main focus is on convenient, affordable, and reliable charging. Access to such charging infrastructure is going to be vital. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about Arceptive and the services we provide, the problem that we are trying to tackle with EVSolt, and the overall platform and its benefits. Arceptive is a global business and technology consultancy. We are predominantly focused on contract software development, infrastructure and DevOps development, as well as data analytics. Our focus is also on emerging technologies, and that can include anything from computer vision, machine learning, artificial intelligence, all the way to IoT. We're working with clients across public and private sector and have a track record in delivering highly scalable data processing and analytics pipelines, resilient web platforms, and accessible and user-friendly business applications. However, as much as we like tech, we never just build tech for tech's sake. With our clients, we're working on technology and solutions that are actually complementing and improving processes that they have in place to give them a higher utility on the spend that they have on any kind of hardware and software. Projects that we are involved in and leading are mainly in the sustainability and environmental space. We've been working with local authorities on mapping out thermal properties of buildings at scale. Think of a Google Street View for thermal imaging. We've been involved in a number of environmental and sustainability projects around carbon assessment and carbon offsetting, to the point where we have created our own climate change intermediary to allow SMEs to do carbon assessment and offsetting through selected partners. 1.5 years ago, we responded to Transport Scotland's call on to improve the accessibility to EV charging infrastructure. We proposed a solution that is vendor agnostic, sensor-based, and very modular and extensible, which is now became EVSolt. We were looking to solve the following problems, namely bay hogging and icing. If you look at EV charging infrastructure, the accessibility could be hindered by two aspects. It could either be diesel and petrol engines blocking access, physical access to the chargers, and some of those might be really cheeky by plugging in a cable that doesn't do anything. Others might just be, as the bottom right, showing a hostile takeover of charging infrastructure for people who are opposed to anything to do with electric vehicles, or top right just showing people that are really having inconsiderable kind of parking skills, blocking two bays at the same time. The bottom left, you can see a kind of system, the 4 states of a charging system that we are looking to detect with our system. Either the charger is free to use, or it is in use. It could be that the charging bay is iced by an bay hogged by an electric vehicle overstaying their welcome, staying plugged in even though the car is fully charged and the charge session's expired, or you have a diesel and petrol engine actually blocking access. The problem as well is that with the numbers that we've seen and heard about in the earlier talks, in 2021 alone, we have EV car sales increasing by 76.3%. There's now over 1 million cars that are plug-in, and this is only 2 to 3% of cars in the UK that are currently classed as electric or hybrid. You see on the right-hand side that there's also a rapid expansion of the charging network. However, with the numbers that we are currently seeing, this is only 10% of where we want to be within the next 8 years. So clearly, mapping and monitoring access to that charging infrastructure is paramount going forward. So how is access to charging devices currently handled? We've seen a number of things during this project. For example, there's been a strong focus on physical access systems or barrier systems, things that you actually have to manually remove. The problem with those is that it actually increases the accessibility issues that Gary highlighted earlier on. And also it is a higher installation cost or retrofitting cost to the actual infrastructure. Novel charging devices provide camera-enabled systems. However, they slightly increase the initial installation cost, and often that system is not available for retrofitting on the existing charging infrastructure. Existing camera and smart parking solutions often lack the integration with EV infrastructure, for example, back office integration, or even understanding the concepts of charging sessions, and often are not suitable for charging bays. They are often set up as a kind of entry and exit system, but are not able to monitor individual bays. So the requirements that we worked out with Transport Scotland and other partners that we worked on over the last 1.5 years is that we want to build a system and need to deliver a solution that meets the following criteria. It needs to be affordable during installation and operation. So the total cost of ownership of any of those systems needs to be manageable for the network provider or the infrastructure owner. The system should be vendor agnostic. So as the clients buy into a system, they should not have a 10-20-year lock-in in certain sensor systems, camera systems, or any other hardware required. It should be retrofittable for different environments, for example, urban, rural, commercial car parks, office car parks, or on-street parking. It should be modular and extensible, so it can grow with the demand and increased insights that the operators and infrastructures will be gathering by using our system. There shouldn't be any adverse impacts on the accessibility or inclusivity aspects. And overall, it should provide analytics to improve the overall accessibility to infrastructure, i.e. making that infrastructure as available to people that need it as possible. So we developed EVZolt. EVZolt is based on 3 different components. We have the EVZolt gateway, we have EVZolt recipes, and EVZolt integration platform. The EVZolt recipes are basically a combination that is suitable for any environment containing of camera systems, on-street parking sensors, or any other wireless sensors or wired sensors that could help us to detect the occupancy status within a charging bay, and depending on the capabilities required, also identify cars and allow us to semi-automate or automate enforcement. The gateway is an on-site installed radio gateway that allows us to capture data from all the sensors deployed on-site and then transmit that information through the internet onto our integration platform. That integration platform could be integrated with any third-party service or existing service within a local authority, car park provider, or office provider, and allows the operator to basically analyze the data on our platform, or add that data to the existing platform for further processing. We're also having an off-the-shelf dashboard that allows our users to see the occupancy status and incident status across their different bays. You can see in real time your charging infrastructure, how it is used, how many bay hogging and icing incidents you have down to a bay level, and you can break that down for reporting on a site level or even a kind of bigger geography. You can see how many vehicles being charged. You can see the average charging time. You can see the number of bay hogging events per hour to analyze trends. And by having that information, you can then focus on either improved enforcement or semi-automated, automated enforcement to kind of drive behavioral change. These are some pictures from some site installations that we have in Dundee and Glasgow, just to give you an idea. In Dundee, we've been looking at a a site that has 5 chargers and 10 charging bays. And you see on the bottom right, the small black dots in the charging bays are ground radars, which are able to detect the occupancy status within a bay. That would be sending that data to our gateway, which you see at the top right, and that then operates with our camera system. The camera system extracts the make and type of the car, will extract the license plate, and that information is then available to the site owner to either manually enforce or do automated enforcement actions. So the system benefits are manifold. We've built a vendor agnostic system that provides an abstraction layer. So there's no need for vendor specific implementations. eVisol's very much plug and play. If you already have cameras within your system, we can retrofit or we can repurpose those cameras for our system as well. You could buy systems of cameras off the shelf for ANPR. We have the solutions for it. Our system is very modular and flexible. You could be starting with on-ground radar, and then as you're getting more information about hotspots, you can then extend that system to have also camera capabilities. It's compatible with existing systems. It's easy to integrate. It has a standardized API, a programming interface, and is also integrating with key back office providers. It's easy to install. The sensor system could be installed within two hours on a kind of 4-bay setup. The larger system with camera system we have installed within 1 day. Usually from experience, it's the red tape to get site access that's taking a bit longer to get the system on the ground. And as I mentioned, the system is fully extensible, which allows the site owner to basically start to get initial information and then build the system up in its capability as required. So the solution benefits are that with our system, the operators and site owners are able to quantify bay hogging and icing incidents to support planning and reporting. This improves the efficiency of manual enforcement by focusing on hotspots. So within a charging network where you have 2,300 charging bays, you now understand where the hotspots with the highest frequency of bay hogging and icing, and local authorities might be able to focus their parking attendants on those spots. You can extend the system capability to achieve semi-automated and automated enforcement. And overall, this should increase the accessibility through increased enforcement, which will trigger behavioral change and make the overall charging network more accessible. And by having that charging network more accessible, it will also increase the profitability of that network, which is vital, especially for local authorities that take the tariffs to extend the networks, maintain the networks, and keep them in good shape for future operations. Thanks very much for your attention, and happy to answer any questions later on during the panel session.